Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including Roku is rolling out its new home screen layout. You can see it right here. There's a cool feature that lets you pick how you want it. Fubo is also launching unlimited DVR for more customers, and 500 small internet providers are objecting to net neutrality. This and a whole lot more coming up here in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories we talk about, you can find a link to each story in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so YouTube recommends our videos to more people. With that said, let's dive into it. Roku's new home screen with the 4x4 look here, which allows you to see a whole lot more apps in one screen, is now available. Kind of slipped it out with the Roku 13. At some point, one of the updates in the Roku 13 update, I think we're at like 0.4, 0.5, whatever in the update, brought this. Now the great thing about this is you get to decide, do you want these smaller icons where you can put more things on the home screen, see more things at once, or do you want the larger 3x3, which makes these icons easier to see and larger? The nice thing about that is it's available in the settings. If you go into the settings, you select settings, home screen, tiles, and there you can select between the small, which gives you a 4x4, or large for 3x3. I personally like this smaller one. I like to be able to see more apps very quickly. I have a lot. I have 74 right now. Kind of with the job I have a lot because I'm reviewing them, always trying out different things. But it's a very nice option to have there. This comes as Roku's been slowly rolling out other features, including a quick launch menu at the top and a recommendation row for different things that from the Roku channel that they want you to watch with this. Again, this is going to be one of those personal opinion things. You may love this new user interface. You may like the smaller ones. You may like the bigger ones. Give Roku credit. They're defaulting to the 3x3. The standard one's the default. You have to go in the settings and opt in for this different 4x4 with the smaller titles. But I love the fact that they didn't say, hey, we have something new. A lot of companies would say, hey, this is clearly better. We have something new. You have to have it. And if you like the old one, tough luck, you're out of luck. I do appreciate Roku's move here to say, hey, if you like it, great, use it. If you don't like it, don't have to. Find it interesting they kind of slipped this in. It's been in beta testing since last fall with Roku's getting it, then losing it, then getting it and losing it. Now it's back once again. So it's great to see these different features rolling out from Roku. All right, so we'll roll on. Real quick, though, reminder again, you go into the settings, select home screen in your settings, tiles, and there you get to pick between these smaller ones or the standard larger options with that. If you're a Fubo customer, now all Fubo customers now have unlimited DVR. Now this has been available in some plans, some options. Now all customers are getting it. Now with this, both English and Latino plans, they call them, that's how Fubo describes them, will be able to get unlimited DVR, which means you can record all you want and watch it when you want, which is a really nice feature. Many DVRs, including Fubo in the past, had limited amount of storage, limited amount of space and hours you could use. Now with this, for free, no additional cost, you get unlimited DVR. Well, free with your subscription. Great option there. This comes as last week Fubo and Diamond Sports agreed to keep Bally Sports on Fubo, so you'll be able to record all your local sports teams if you have a local Bally Sports option in your package. Again, available to all English and Latino packages from Fubo. Link in the show notes if you want to learn more. Earlier this year, the FCC rolled out new rules for reclassifying internet as a Title II provider. In short, that's the net neutrality. This means that the FCC has more say over how internet services run their business. They will help regulate it. Now, the FCC and FTC have joined together to try to regulate the internet together. Before this, the FTC did primarily manage the internet and how it worked. Now the FCC is putting their 2 cents in, saying they get to have some say with it. Well, the ACA Connects, which represents 500 small, it's basically a trade organization representing 500 small providers of phone, internet, and television, has come out with a statement objecting to what they consider a takeover of the internet by the FCC. And they've got some pretty strong ones out there. And Congressman Bill Latta, he's a congressman, has pushed a resolution to object to this move, and they're firmly joining in and objecting to the push for net neutrality. They're arguing it's not needed. Net neutrality was here, went away, now it's back. I think for most people, I'll say this again. I think for most people, you'll never notice a difference either way. But for these companies, it's a big difference for them, and they're definitely objecting to how it's being done. We'll keep a close eye on this, but 500 small internet providers in this company are objecting to net neutrality. Have you noticed in our next story up that there's a lot more sports on television? It's true, there is more sports than ever before, and in places we never expected it. True TV just got rebranded into a sports network. CBS is running primetime pickleball events, and more. Well, increasingly that is happening because sports is one of the main ways that are keeping cable TV customers paying for cable, or live TV service customers paying for live TV services like Sling, Fubo, Hulu Plus Live TV, and YouTube TV. Because sports is one of the few things people are still paying for these services for, channels are diving in and spending a lot of money to get their rights on sports. Now, it doesn't stop there. It actually has a lot to do with advertising. Advertisers love sports because people typically watch sports live, which means that they don't have to worry about you DVRing it and then fast forwarding through the commercials. You're more likely to see the commercials with this than you would be with other services. Look for us to see more and more sports becoming more popular on channels that never had sports before, because they need them in order to keep you subscribed. So, question for you. Are you a non-sports fan, somebody who could not care less about sports, but still pay for a live TV service? Let me comment, let me know what you're watching. And I find increasingly when we talk to people, most people who are sports fans pay for it, and if you're not a sports fan, increasingly people are not paying for these channels. Services live, they're rather going to something like Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus, and the like. Leave me a comment, let me know how you fall on that argument. All right, smaller streaming services are in great danger. I predict that by the end of this year, we'll see several, maybe even a few surprises, streaming services shut down because they're running out of money. We've already seen that happen a few times recently in the last year. Local BTV being one, which used to offer a bunch of local television stations streaming online. In the past, investors were investing heavily in streaming to try to become the winner because they saw this as the future. Everybody wanted in on it because if you hit it gold, right, if you're the next Netflix, well, there's a lot of money in that. But most streaming services have never made a profit, including things like Fubo and the like. They've never made a profit. And now investors are starting to say, hey, I need to see a profit before I continue to invest. They're pulling it back. Since 2022, the amount of money pouring into these services has shrunk. At the same time, ad revenue has started to fall because of, well, let's be honest, there's more places than ever before to put ads. This is putting streaming services that rely on ad revenue and investors to get by in a very tough spot. And a lot of these services have a path to become profitable, are backed by major companies, but a lot of the smaller ones do not. They do not have Disney or Paramount or NBC Universal or Warner Bros. Discovery backing them and funding their projects until they become profitable. This has left smaller companies struggling to become profitable, and I firmly believe by the end of this year we could see a few surprises here, but that there will be streaming services that will go out of business because they can't pay their bills. Keep moving on here. Speaking of money, T-Mobile is buying UScellular's wireless operations for $4.4 billion. Now, we did an update. So, I first wrote the story as just they bought UScellular. Representative from UScellular reached out and basically said, well, no, they didn't buy the company. They bought our wireless operations and more. So, if you watched my quick breakdown of that yesterday, I just wanted to add, I did a full video about this deal. A little clarification. They bought UScellular's wireless operation. The company itself will continue in whatever they're doing. Also with this, they got access to 2,000 towers. Now, they don't own those towers, but they got what's called a master license, which basically means they operate them. Often towers are owned by different people or different companies who actually own the land and the stuff they sit on. And then people like T-Mobile get master licenses to rent them. But that allows T-Mobile to basically do what they want with them within reason of the contract. But just wanted to clarify that, because UScellular reached out to us just to say, hey, they bought our wireless operations, our customers, and a bunch of our spectrum, but they did not actually buy UScellular itself. So just throwing that out there for clarification. All right, last story up before we get to the question of the day. Pluto TV has the first 3 Rambo movies now streaming for free. What free movie or television show on a service like Pluto TV are you enjoying most right now? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get into the question of the day. I always try to answer questions here in the videos. If you have a question, start off with something like a question for Luke. Leave it in the comments. I'll go through them. Some I'll answer in the comments. 1 or 2 I may answer here. And today's question is, why don't failing cable networks like MTV sub-channels just change their programming from reality shows and go back to the roots of music videos? That's a great question. This goes back to a lot of things. But the truth is, there's so many ways to watch music videos. Most people, if you want to watch music videos, can go on YouTube. There's dedicated free channels on things like Sling TV's free stream, Pluto TV and other. You can watch dedicated music channels specifically for your genre. You want 80s music, 90s music, pop, punk rock, whatever it may be, it's there. And that's a problem with MTV and others. It's the reason they moved away from music. It's because it's become very easy to find very tailored music exactly to your liking that you like it. You say, I want them to go back to music. But you probably want them to go back to music you like, but maybe not music I like. And probably definitely not music my daughter would like as she's becoming a teenager. So that raises a problem that MTV always struggled with. Why is MTV getting away from music? Well, it's because it's harder to please everybody. MTV for a while really was the only place to see that, and because of that, you just kind of watched it because it was the only one out there. And then VH1 and others popped up and gave some little bit of competition. But now if you want music videos, there are whole channels on many different free services that do that and can give you exactly the kind of content you want. Or you can download something like the iHeartRadio app on your Roku, Fire TV, and others to watch or listen to many popular channels. The Roku channel is another great one. They have a bunch of music channels also. And that's why I firmly believe that these different music channels have moved away. And I'll be honest, on cable, probably will never go back. It's just not profitable. There's too many ways, and people have too many subscription music services. For music and television to become profitable, it would need to attract a huge audience. Let's be honest, music now is actually, I think, more subdivided into smaller genres than ever before. It's easier than ever to fall in love with a particular style of music or a particular group of artists and just curate all your music to match that. So the day of just random weird music coming on MTV that you may never heard of, maybe you like, maybe you don't, are kind of gone. Sadly, that's why, as I've been told over and over, honestly, it makes a lot of sense to me. Let me know, does it make sense to you why MTV probably will never go back? They do have an MTV classic channel that does show classic music blocks from like the 80s and 90s. But I think for most people, they're probably never going back to that, to be honest with you. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care. Be safe. I'll talk to you all again real soon.